Hi guys, welcome back to Honest Straightforward Reviews. Today I'm doing a video on how to overclock your GPU really well and proper. I'll be using some software like MSI Afterburner. I've got the AMD RX 6900 XT with a 6800X CPU. Okay, I've got about 32 gigs of RAM, and I'm doing this external camera so you guys know what actually happens. I've seen a lot of overclocking videos where the overclocker has cut out a lot of things because you can't capture it when you're capturing it on the computer. You can't capture all the crashes and things like that. It doesn't capture that. Whereas I want to capture it so you guys can see how long it crashes for, what happens to my screen, what kind of errors I get. So you guys don't get alarmed by it. It's completely fine. It's a fail-safe in the GPU to let the GPU switch off whatever overclock you've put on if it's too dangerous. So let's get this started. First of all, so obviously what I was talking about is, so I'm using AMD, so I've got AMD software on there as well. I've got MSI compressor. Okay, so that is for basically making sure that it runs okay. So instead of firing up a game and playing the game and it crashing, what I'm doing is using compressor to actually test it out. Other than that, there's Ravi or something as well. I found that software useful, but let's get this started. I've got all the links in the description below for AMD and NVIDIA software, and I've also got all the description in the description, the details for these two software as well. So let's go first of all to MSI Afterburner. So it's just basically msi.com and /page Afterburner. Page Afterburner. Okay, click on download. It'll start download and just install it. Okay, it's really easy and straightforward. If you guys need a hand with that, please do leave me in the comments below how to install MSI Afterburner and compressor. So compressor is another thing, and I downloaded from Geeks3D. So that's where I downloaded from. So you basically get that version, which is the latest one at the moment, and you go here and then basically click on that and you can download it and run that, just a simple file. That's for Windows 10 at the moment. Okay, so let's get this started. So I've been testing it for a little bit. Okay, so it minimizes here, and that's the other software that it comes with. Okay, this is really good for if you want just to know what FPS you're doing and things like that. I use this for that. Okay, but I can also use AMD's software anyways. So first things first, what I want you guys to do is click. This looks a bit overwhelming. Okay, this is basically your GPU overclocks and things like that. Speed, memory speed, and temperature, and all that stuff. So first of all, what I would like you guys to do is start with Windows. I don't want it to start with Windows. I don't overclock for every game. I want my card to run cool. I have an aggressive fan curve, which I'll show to you guys what I mean. Okay, which reset. Okay, so it's reset because I was playing around with it quite a bit. So let me show you what I've got. So that's my aggressive fan curve. So if you guys know a little bit about GPUs, you'll know what I'm doing here. So this is basically the GPU. Okay, so I'm basically custom tuning it. So these are the options: default, undervolt, overclock, and overclock VRAM. Okay, this is the default ones, the preset ones, rage mode and whatnot from AMD. This is tuning the GPU, this is tuning the VRAM, and that's tuning the power. Okay, I have left those as default. I'm not overclocking it or undervolting it at all. But what I do have is a very aggressive fan curve. So if you guys look at my fan curve, so till the temperature hits 45 degrees, anything under 45 degrees, I'm running at 42 decibels, and I've turned off 0 RPM. So 0 RPM is basically when you turn it on, when the GPU is not getting used, it just turns off the fan altogether. I've got it at 42 because when I turn this computer on, it's more for gaming. I've got a Mac for everything else, for my editing and all that stuff. A couple of Macs actually. So anyways, let's get back to this. So straight off 42 speed, so it bumps up to 55 as soon as I hit 50 degrees. From 55 it goes up to 70%. As soon as I hit 60, 70 degrees goes up to 90, and if I go up to 80 degrees, I want the fans to fully blast the system. Okay, so that's a very, very aggressive fan curve, very noisy. However, I've got the Bang & Olufsen H9 third generation headphones for the noise cancellation feature, so I can't hear anything, to be honest. Right now I've actually got the fans all the way up. Let me turn those down. So that's the system fans. I've got 9 fans on my system as well, which is going to be hard to show to you guys, but that's it. So you can see 3 fans there, but I've got 9 in total, and I've got 5 of them going in and 3 of them going out. I don't want too much positive or negative pressure, but yeah. And for 4 of them can be controlled. The others are like just automatic, whatever speed it is. So anyways, let's get back into this video. Started with Windows if you wanted to overclock every single time. Otherwise, you'll need to open it from here and have it minimized. I have it minimized all the time because, yeah, if I want to run it, I don't want to see all this. I just wanted to go in there and just apply my overclock. So some of the things I want you guys to first of all do here is the power limit. I want you to increase the power limit to the maximum amount, and also the temperature limit. You can increase it to the maximum amount, but however, you can see I can't increase it at all. Now, this is due to my GPU not allowing it. So my GPU doesn't have the room to allow me to do that. So if yours does, I want you to increase it all the way. Okay, so the temperature limit, it will never run that hot, but if it does, it gives you that headroom before the fans kick in. Now what I want you to next do is increase the fan speed. So see how it doesn't allow me to increase the fan speed? So see how it doesn't let me allow? So if I click on auto, it'll take it out, and then I can put in whatever amount I want. Okay, all right, let's get into it. So we've increased the power limit to the maximum we can. Now, what I want you guys to do is click on auto, and so you can actually adjust the fan speed yourself. So I've set it at 90, okay, which is what I'm comfortable with. 100 is really loud and it'll run it at all the time. You can click this clog and you can have a fan curve like I did in where I had the AMD software on. So I'll get it back up for you guys so you know what I'm talking about. So see how I've got that fan curve there? So that's my fan curve there that I can use. You can set one up here as well. However, if you know you're going to be overclocking and you want to play the game and you want to know what's the maximum, so 90, 95, 100, whatever you want, don't click start yet. Now that's your memory overclock, okay? So what I want you guys to do is you can either go up and test it, or you can go highest, then it'll crash and then you can come down. Now I know I get it at about 2800 before it crashes. Let me start at 28. I can go up to 3000. It doesn't run at 3000. It just crashes immediately. So I'm going to go at 2800, okay, and leave the memory clock as is. Run MSI Kombustor, okay. Let's do this. Apply all that, okay. Actually, I'll do 2750, okay? Let's start off with 2750. As you can hear, the fans get really loud. So I want you guys to experience all what I'm experiencing. This is why I'm making this video like this, so you guys know how loud it gets and what to expect and not to worry about it if something happens. So this is Kombustor for now, all right? It might change later on, but it's the same sort of idea behind it, okay? All right, so let's start the stress test. And what I want you guys to do is run the stress test for about, I'd say 3 minutes at a time. Okay, some people say a minute or this or that. I'd like a 3-minute gap. So, and I'll turn up the fans as well, the manual fans. I can turn them up from, so it'll get a tiny bit more louder. Okay, so Kombustor is running, okay. And let's look at my watch. Oopsie. And let's set a 3-minute timer. Okay, let's go and see how this goes. All right, so the timer's nearly gone, okay? So I'll just stop it. If it's gonna crash, it's gonna crash by now. Alright, so I'll leave compressor running, and what I'll do is I'll jump it up to, let's say, 75, so by 25, okay? You can do at 40s at first, 40s or 50s, even 50s, and when you start getting up to the limit, so let's see if this is going to crash. Let's go back into my timer and set a 3-minute timer and let it run again. I'm going to obviously speed up the process, okay? Unless if there's a crash, I'm going to speed it up to the crash. It might take 2.5 minutes before it crashes, you know? It might take 30 seconds before it crashes. Let's try that out. Okay, again, it's been over 2 minutes. It looks really good. There's no stutters. I don't feel there's any problems. The temperature is really nice and low as well, which is why I love a aggressive fan curve, or a high fan in this case. All right, we're going to bump it up by another 15 this time. Ooh, that's not 15. There you go. All right, let's see if it's going to work. Let's set our timer again. All right, fingers crossed. See how we go with this. Now, I want you guys to keep an eye on this thing, okay? It's not running for the benefit of just running there, okay? If there's stutters and there's micro stutters or any sort of glitches or discoloring, so that's your limit, okay? Don't wait for it to just crash, okay? It's not always going to crash. There'll be stutters introduced in there and stuff like that. So that's where you understand that there's a problem with it. Okay, so as you guys saw, that's about 1 minute mark. So it's crashed, okay? So the limit was 2775 was completely fine. Anything more than that, it crashed. This is what happens with compressor. In my case, it gets unresponsive, okay? So we'll just close the program. So if it doesn't close, you can Control-Alt-Delete and go into Task Manager, and then you can shut it off from here and end task it, okay? Which we're not going to do. We'll close MSI Afterburner when this happens, okay? So MSI Afterburner can't control it anymore. We're going to reopen it, okay? Get it up again. So everything's reset again, okay? So we'll kick this back up to 90, increase the temps. Okay, so 2775 was fine, so 280. Let's 2780. Let's try that. 290 was not good, so let's try that. Open compressor, stress test it, okay? And let's go back into our watch and set the timer for 3 minutes. Let's see how we go. So the fans have kicked in again. As we can see, it's going good, okay? I'm going to go to 2785 and give it a go there. Let's see how that goes. 2785, enter, and bang. And then we're going back into the timer, set the timer for 3 minutes. Let's see how this one goes. Now guys, I have a funny feeling that before it crashed because the fan weren't kicking in properly. So I'm going to give it another go and bump it up all the way to 2790 and see if it's going to crash again. But let's see with 2785, because 2780 was our best so far without a crash. And I'm thinking of maybe even increasing the fans to 100%. Okay, looks like it's fine at 2785, even though the fans have gone down, ramped up a bit. So what I'm going to do at this point is that is the most stable so far. So I'm going to give it a save, and I'm going to save it in profile 1. So profile 1 is saved. So what I'll do is I'll give the system a quick restart and get back to you guys. All right guys, welcome back. So I've got the feeling that I can go to 280, 2800, okay? Even though at 2790 it crashed, and I just had a feeling that the fans didn't kick in properly. let's stress test this and see if my theory is right. This is wrong, this is completely wrong. So keep an eye out on this, guys. Let's see how we go. I'm going to set my timer again to 3 minutes. We're at about 1 minute left. Okay, so 2 minutes of testing, and the fans have gone down. The temperature is not that high, it's quite good. Okay, so I've got a feeling that we'll be fine. I think my aggressive fan curve is overriding this one. So what I might do, okay, so there. So see, it's crashed at about 40 seconds left. So what I'm going to do is I'm getting a feeling that the AMD software is overriding this one, okay, in a way. So what I'll do is I'll just close everything and I'm going to go into AMD and I'm going to just increase their fan. So custom, and so this is how you do it anyways in AMD. So turn this off, maximum fan curve, just do that, do this, and do that. Okay, so I want it starting at about 90 and then going up to 100, okay? So you can hear it now. So MSI is getting loaded now. So everything is reset. So let's go back to that, and at 2, so that's the temperature now. So this is completely getting overwritten, okay? So let's increase this to 2800 again, okay? Or let's go to 2790. Okay, and leave this as auto. Actually, what's going on? I think they're overriding each other. 100. Okay, so that's 100. Okay, let's get MSI Afterburner, compressor. Let's test this out. Let's test 2, and let's get our timer up. Okay, let's fingers crossed that I can hit 2790. Alright guys, time is done. Great news. That's what my feeling was telling me, that it's crashing because of the fans not doing their job properly and they were clashing. So I've set both at 100 speed and it's working fine, looks fine. So what I'll do is I'll leave it for another few minutes to run and let's see if it's going to crash or not. Alright, everything seems to be running just fine. So let's bump it back up to 2800 and see how we go. So I'm just going to go to 2800 and we're going to set our timer again to 3 minutes because I feel like that's a good spot. Now I want you guys to keep an eye on this, the junction temperature, okay? That's the main point where everything is. The current temperature, that doesn't really matter. The junction temperature is what is like the central part of the GPUs, as you can see, you know? So that's where we need it nice and cool. Okay, so 1 minute left and everything's crashed. So definitely the sweet spot for my GPU is 2790, okay? So we're going to go with 2790 and now the next interesting part we're going to come to. Let's look at the memory clock, okay? And what I'm going to do is just get the fan curve aggressive again, nice and aggressive. Okay, go 100, okay? Now, memory overclock, so we'll go to 2100, okay? So you can be a lot more aggressive with the memory overclock at the start. Let's see what we can get it up to. Most people can get it up to all the way without it crashing. So we'll run it again for about 3 minutes and see if we can get a good stable connection. So let's go here. Let's set it up at 3 minutes, okay? Okay guys, now I've done all the testings, and sorry about the last video where it ended before this. It crashed because it was having issues with my camera and I couldn't get it back up. But look, this is what I've gotten so far. So power limit maximum, I've gotten it to 2795. okay, I'm dropping it to 2780. okay, and maximum clock speed, maximum full speed fan. okay, and let's do a stress test and see how we go. There's about 20 seconds left in the test, but as you guys can see, it's working marvelously. Memory clock speed is hovering at about 2138 peacefully, and the overclock is working at 2724, which is well below the 27880. The fan speed is about 61 and the temperature is about 60, which is well and truly comfortable. It's not that loud. It can get louder because obviously the fans can ramp up to all the way to 100. This is nowhere near 100. Very comfortable. I've tested it at 2795 as well with the clock speed. But in essence, this is a thorough look that you guys have been asking me for, how to overclock any GPU. So this will work for AMD or NVIDIA, okay? Let me know in the comments what else you guys would like to see on this channel. I'm looking at doing a very thorough one with the AMD software, just using AMD software and overclocking the GPU like that. Let me know if you guys are interested in that, and also an NVIDIA one as well after that one. So if you guys are interested in that, please do subscribe. It supports the channel, but mostly is to watch the videos, guys. So make sure you turn on the bell icon and watch the videos when I upload them, and give it a like. All right, thank you so much for staying to the end. I appreciate everything. Thank you so much. Take good care. Bye-bye.